Greetings! Welcome back to Sean's Irish Whiskey Shelf. I'm filming this on the backside of the long Thanksgiving Day weekend, so I hope all of you out there had a chance to spend some time with family or do whatever your Thanksgiving Day tradition is. Maybe overindulge on some turkey, stuffing, watch a lot of football, maybe drink a little whiskey. Whatever it is that you did, I hope it found you happy and safe. So, what I have for you today are these three bottles. The first one is Bushmills Prohibition Recipe. This is a new addition to the shelf. Picked this up last week. Limited edition bottle. Once you see it, you might want to grab it because you may never see it again, according to Bushmills. The other two, I have Tullamore D.E.W and Eiregold. I had a subscriber that saw me do a post about Eiregold not too long ago and wanted me to compare the two of these because apparently Tullamore D.E.W was a favorite of that subscriber. So wanted to get my impression of a comparison between the two of these. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a very quick overview of these two because we haven't talked about these yet on the show. So let me tell you a little bit about the Bushmills Prohibition Recipe and the Eiregold. Bushmills Prohibition Recipe, sometimes called the Peaky Blinders release. This is a limited release coming out of the Bushmills distillery up in County Antrim, and it was released in honor of or to be used with the TV series Peaky Blinders. It was done during the 6th season of that television show. There is an age statement right on the bottle. It says 3+ years. However, when you do a little research, you'll find that it is actually a blend of 3, 4, and 5-year-old whiskey, all malted barley and non-chill filtered, also aged in ex-bourbon barrels. You can pick this up for around $40 a bottle, so if you see it, you definitely want to grab it because once it's gone, it's gone. There's not going to be any more of this. Pretty strong. It's going to be a little bit stronger than your standard Irish whiskey. You're looking at 46% ABV, which works out to 92 proof. And you're getting a recipe that Bushmills used back in the early 1900s, around the 1910s, I believe they say. So this is a recipe that you would definitely find right around the Prohibition time, hence the name, Prohibition Recipe. So definitely, if you see this, grab it, because you may never get another chance to get it. Eiregold. Now this is an entry-level Irish whiskey. I paid about $25 for this, and this is distilled up at the Hyde Distillery in County Cork, which of course is known for Hyde Irish whiskey. No age statement on the bottle with this one, but Hyde Distillery says it is aged about 4 years, and it is your typical Irish whiskey strength. You're looking at 40% ABV, 80 proof, so it's pretty standard. And like most entry-level Irish whiskeys, this is also a blend. You're looking at 80% single grain, 20% single malt, so you should have a lot of the sweetness profile that you would get from a single grain, and maybe a little bit of that fruitiness or smokiness taste that you would normally get from a single malt. All right, well, now that you've learned a little bit about the Bushmills Prohibition Recipe and the Eiregold, let's go ahead and taste them. First up, Bushmills Prohibition Recipe. Nice. So it's going to have a little bit more of that alcohol burn to it, seeing as it's 92 proof. Definitely higher than the other Bushmills products, but not objectionable at all. It really is a good sip of whiskey. You're going to get a little bit of that malt taste in there because this is made completely with malted barley. But in spite of that, I think that's a pretty good sip of whiskey. So if you find it and you want something that's a little bit stronger than what Bushmills normally makes, you might want to consider getting it, especially at its price. Like I said in the overview, $40 for this bottle. If you can find it for that, you probably ought to snatch it up while you can.
All right, now the head-to-head. We've got Tullamore Dew and Eiregold. If you haven't watched episode 3 yet, you should go back and watch it. That is where I compared Tullamore Dew to Jameson, Proper Number 12, and Bushmill White, and gave you my honest opinion of how they stacked up to each other. Spoiler alert, Tullamore Dew was my very first Irish whiskey experience, and apparently I chose well on my first go-round because it still is one of my favorites. So we will see how it works with Eiregold and see if Eiregold can unseat Tullamore Dew as my number one. Let's give it a shot. First off, Tullamore Dew. Yep. Good old Tullamore Dew. You got your blend of 3 different Irish whiskeys in there. You've got your single malt, single grain, and single pot still. So the 3 of them just work together and bring a nice flavor to the table. Good Irish whiskey. If you have never tried Tullamore Dew, you really should do yourself a favor and give it a try. All right, now, Eiregold. Let's take a sip of Eiregold here and see how it stacks up. Nope, it's not going to unseat Tullamore Dew. It's not a bad sip of whiskey. I would still hold it over Jameson. It has more body than Jameson, has more flavor profile than Jameson, but for my palate, it's not a flavor profile that I particularly care for. Because it is 80% single grain, 20% single malt, that single malt taste is coming through. I can taste the smokiness, a little bit of that peatiness taste. It's just not my profile. I'm not saying it's a bad whiskey. It's just not for Sean. So that's you can take that as a grain of salt or a little bit of single grain whiskey if you want. Tullamore Dew, in my book, is still better than Eiregold. So, all right. That's all I have for you today. I want to thank you again for watching my video. If you got anything out of this, please consider clicking on the like button and giving me a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss any of my future videos, I would ask for you to subscribe to my channel. I always try to do at least 1 video a week, and I have fun doing this. I have fun bringing you into my whiskey shelf, and we share this together. So would love to have your subscription. Thanks a lot for watching. Be well and be safe until the next time we see each other. Bye now.